When a child, say, maybe like just hypothetically, maybe it's one of my kids, just hypothetically, and she's super excited because she wants to go to a particular event. And then we get to the event and she's like, I don't want to get out of the car. No, I'm not going to get out of the car. So
Because they're
that,
so anxious, because they're
yeah,
so worried.
it's too stressful. And then her worry triggers mine, and then I'm not in a great place to help her. And then maybe we just end up driving home. And then I realized
Mhm.
later, like, whoa, that was totally a missed opportunity there. That we could have like worked through something. Um, and one of the first parts of that missed opportunity is that I thought that her worry was real in the sense that you were talking earlier about that oftentimes when we have fear, that it's not because our life is being threatened. And that was the first, I think, missed opportunity for me, was to calm myself down and for me to recognize, like, oh wait, we are actually safe here. So how do you,
Like, what are the tools?
yeah, what are some of the tools that me as a parent, and then we'll secondarily talk about her as a kid,
Mhm.
that we could have done in that particular situation?
I think it depends on how much groundwork you've done. So you guys have formerly been teachers, right? And so you know, and I know that do you taught at the preschool level? So it
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah.
okay. So they're not a whole bunch of tests that they have at the preschool level, right? But they do have certain milestones that they're looking for kids to meet sometimes in preschool, whether that be tying your own shoe or like getting your own water or packing your own backpack. Those kind of things are never taught in the moment, right, of performance. So you don't go sit down for a test and then study the second that you sit down. But that's what we do in parenting. Our kids are in, let's just call it a test, right, for lack of a better word, where maybe for your daughter, hypothetically speaking, she had to get out and do something super uncomfortable for her. Maybe it was making her a little socially anxious to go out and meet some people that she hasn't seen in a while, or maybe it's a group or something. And she hasn't practiced what to do in that moment, right? She hasn't laid enough groundwork to say, okay, if I'm in that situation, then I will do this. And then us, in the moment of being parents, do a few things. One is, we might get worried because they're worrying. And then we also might tip the dominoes, right? Going, oh my goodness, she's not getting out and she's never going to make friends. And then she's going to be like lonely forever and like eventually be, I don't know, for parents, everything ends up in homelessness, drugs, or prison or something, like terrible. That's obviously catastrophic thinking that we need to bring ourselves back from. So I would say in that moment, if you have laid some groundwork for some of like a coping technique that she could actually use, then at that point you could introduce it. But if you've if you've had no discussion about it, there's been, no work done, then introducing it in that moment, it's not a teaching moment, right? Especially, I don't know what state she was in, but often in that state, it's not a teaching moment. And you just have to say to yourself, I just need to hold space for her feelings. And I want to be able to work on this, but if she's not open to receiving, some guidance from me, then it's not the time to do it. Now, for a practical suggestion for something like that, I teach kids that, listen, you want to be able to push yourself, just like working out, just like breaking down the muscles, a little bit past what you can do. And going back to the original point of being able to feel our feelings, see, here's what happens. We get worried, and we've been taught something is wrong with worry. So then we get scared of being worried. And now we're just freaked out and we think, oh my goodness, I can't do anything in this state of being. When in reality, if we're used to feeling our feelings, we can do a lot of things, feeling worried, feeling guilty, feeling angry. We can still do things, right? We can still go out and meet people. So one thing that kids can do is they can create a ladder, right? So it's just some gradual exposure. And in the top of the ladder is the goal you want to meet. So maybe that goal is to go out and meet some new people. And then each rung of the ladder is a little baby step to reach that bigger goal. And each baby step, if you have, let's say, severe social anxiety, maybe the baby step is, I'm just going to get out of the car and go make eye contact. And then that's it. That's my baby step, right? Or maybe just get out of the car. You do that for 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 events until you feel comfortable. And then you move yourself to the next rung. A lot of times for kids, the big goal is way overwhelming. It's like, I can't do the big goal. And then they're not tasting any success. Imagine you have a goal. Maybe your goal is to, maybe it's weight loss, or maybe it's learning a new language. And the end goal is so big. We always set miniature goals for ourselves. So mini goals are super important for kids in these situations.